Why should you choose this Ba Duan Jin Instructor course over others? Well, if you want to teach this set as true Qigong, giving your students accurate information regarding the focus and the Qi guidance, you're in the right place. If you're okay with teaching a set of physical exercises with no internal movement, no real guidance of the Qi, and with a few sound bites thrown in, you might as well stop here. I'm not interested in you. For those who wish to teach the Ba Duan Jin as true Qigong, let me try to explain the difference between this course and others. If I take one exercise from this set, taking the wise owl looks backwards as the example. This Qigong, like the others in this set, is almost always taught as a physical exercise that has a few flowery terms thrown in. This gives students the false impression that they're working with Qi. That is to say, that they're actually doing Qigong. This level of tuition has absolutely no substance whatsoever. No more than a stream of sound bites and physical movements. It is most definitely not Qigong. I took some time to do an online search for Ba Duan Jin tuition, and I was appalled. Here are the first two examples I came across. The first is an example of verbal fluff, of empty words with no real information. The second describes the wise owl as a physical exercise and does not even bother to mention Qi. Now here's the first example, and I'm quoting this. The movement of the arms activates all the yin and yang organs to build immunity. We must be careful not to lose our centre as we move through the inhale. The exhale is brief but grounding. End of quote. This is waffle, and it tells you nothing. Nothing except that the person who wrote it does not understand the Qigong. How does that simple movement of your arms increase your immunity? Now, I know that slow rhythmic arm swings have an effect, have an impact on the axillary lymph nodes here in the armpit. Those movements can power the peristalsis that pumps the debris through the lymphatic system and helps keep the lymph nodes clear. The question I have is, where does the claim of activating all the yin and yang organs to build immunity come from? Are they claiming that this basic arm swing is stimulating all 12 meridians equally? It certainly looks like they're making this claim. Incidentally, their use of the word organs in reference to the meridians also highlights a lack of knowledge. This is all too common, I'm afraid. The second description has this to say, again I'm quoting, "This is a stretch of the neck to the left and the right in an alternating fashion." End quote. So what makes this turn of the head Qigong? What difference is there from any neck stretch you may do? Or for that matter, turning your head from side to side to look for traffic before you cross the road? Over and over again, website after website, it's the same empty fluff. Unfortunately, this is not confined to the internet, and the same poor quality tuition can be found in the vast majority of live classes. Where is the focus? Just turning your head will certainly affect your neck muscles, but what about the Qi? The wise owl looks backward is a Qigong that uses the control cycle of the 5 elements. This is its primary function. It uses metal to control wood. This is a fabulous Qigong. It is very powerful and it is very efficient. But it must be taught properly for it to be practiced properly. You need to teach your students where their focus should be at all times. You need to teach them how to listen to the Qi in order for them to know that they're actually having an effect. If you're not already aware of the term listening, it means passive awareness. This is tangible. It is not an imagined movement of the Qi or a hoped for movement of the Qi. It is tangible awareness of that movement. This Ba Duan Jin Instructor course covers all you need to teach this set as true Qigong, to give accurate information without the need for waffle. It covers all of that and more besides. That use of the control cycle is the primary function of the wise owl looks backward. But that does not mean that the benefits are restricted to these two elements. There's an effect throughout the entire meridian system, and this is via the nurturing cycle and the controlling cycle of the 5 elements. It's rather like throwing a rock into a pool or a pond. The initial contact is the primary function, then the ripples reach out to every part of the pond. The initial effects, the primary effects, will be on enhancing the Qi in lung meridian and large intestine meridian, while dissipating, that means clearing, any stuck or stagnant Qi from the liver meridian and the gallbladder meridian. How does that benefit your students? Well, if we look at its primary function, it clears stuck Qi in gallbladder and liver. This reduces the incidence of tension headaches and migraines. It increases their flexibility, their physical flexibility, their mental flexibility, and their ability to release negative emotional ties. Let's take it one meridian at a time. The additional benefits of this Qigong can deal with the following disharmonies in these 4 meridians. This is an extremely edited list and does not include the benefits gained via the overall impact of all the other meridians. So with lung meridian, things like being over anxious, being antisocial, showing signs of hypersensitivity, having melancholy or depression, having low vitality, having a lack of self-esteem, being obsessed with things. Physiologically, nasal congestion, sinusitis, throat congestion, any breathing difficulties, the upper body tiring easily, having a feeling of that heaviness, that woolliness, thickness in the head, having dry hair and dry skin. For the large intestine meridian, things like the tendency to feel disappointed, having a lack of positive thought, being prone to grief, having a lack of determination, internalization and creating boundaries, holding on to old trauma, things and events from the past that are emotionally and spiritually detrimental. Any malfunctions of the physical large intestine, that's things like constipation, diarrhea, stress incontinence, irritable bowel syndrome. It affects all of these. Let's have a look at liver. Being irritable and easily upset, having a short temper, prone to shouting and raising your voice, throwing tantrums, being erratic or inconsistent, deviousness, being pretentious, prone to arrogance, aggressive behaviour, being antagonistic, overworking, the workaholic among us, being accident prone, suppressing emotions, and getting hung up on trivialities. Also affects things like detoxification, the liver, the physical organ, an inability to gain weight, impotence, low libido, having weak joints, tendinitis, stiff muscles, prostate problems, for ladies, scanty menstrual flow, cystitis, back to those headaches, tension headaches and migraines, also tired eyes. With gallbladder meridian, sudden fatigue after tension, a lack of determination, strained nerves, being unnaturally timid, poor sleep, being easily woken, an overall lack of energy, taking on too much responsibility, often knowing that it's way above your ability, overdoing things and pushing yourself too much, impatience, micromanaging, tired eyes again, poor digestion, gastric hyperacidity, tendinitis, gallstones, bloated stomach, pain in the rib cage. I'm working my way around the body, neuralgia, dull and weak eyesight. Now this gives you a good idea of what benefits there are within this one Qigong. However, some of those benefits may be achieved much more efficiently and much more effectively with a different Qigong. One that targets the particular imbalance as its primary function. You, as an instructor, should be able to guide students accurately and have an understanding of the meridians involved in each exercise. Now, you do not need to know traditional Chinese medicine. You have notes for the benefits gained from each Qigong as a reference. I want to go back to those fluffy claims that are often made for these Qigong and many other Qigong. They're often wildly diverse. There are so many different claimed benefits, with many of them seeming to be at odds with each other, that it's quite understandable that people are sceptical. When they read about Qigong, they're sceptical. It can take many years of poke and hope practice, but eventually, after years, through the workings of the control cycle and the nurturing cycle, those benefits, those claimed benefits may be gained. I don't know about you and how you feel, but I believe it's better to use the correct tool for the job. It's far, far better to take a short path rather than what can be a very long road to health. This can be achieved if you understand the Qigong. You benefit and your students benefit. The course contains a full list of the primary benefits of these exercises as well as the secondary benefits. The primary benefits are the initial goal of that particular Qigong, where the rock hits the pond. The secondary benefits are the overall benefits gained from the meridians being used in each Qigong. That's the initial ripples in the pond. There's a free to view introduction video that describes the course in more depth, and this can be viewed at the San Bao School website.